right, folks, here we go. Game 2 as we kick things off, and let's see how the first wave of bans go. I mean, you know, we did see Bologna and Xing10 get taken out in that first matchup there, which resulted in a very interesting solo lane matchup. Soul is going to be the first one to go for NME.
I dislike Paradigm lost the last game, so they have taken the second pick option, which I am not a big fan of because I really feel I need to get rid of Saket. But now, you know, if they get rid of Saket, then either, well, Xing has just been banned, which means Bologna is going to get through. So now they have to deal with either Salt Machine's Bologna or just Saket, and either one of those things is not pretty.
I mean, yeah. Because does Cuvo play Saket ever?
He does, yeah. He has had a strong Saket in the past, so maybe that's what they're going to do, you know. Out of EU, QVO probably one of the more signature Saket players, so maybe that's the plan, you know, let it go through and then just take it out
So then are they trying to bait out the Saket picks or Bologna picks, late get Saket? Is that even worth it? Is it worth to give up the Bologna for the Saket pick?
Maybe they just ban it out, you know, ban the Bologna, and then will they first pick Saket?
That's a
Are
great
they willing
question.
to?
We know NME's been leaning a lot towards that Khepri. You know, they've been loving to get these Guardians going up front. I wouldn't mind seeing some more heavily like Geb type flavor from Paradigm too. We saw the last game that they lost a lot because they didn't have any peel. Everybody in the team was trying to go in all at once, and we're going to see the Athena banned away from Pain because there's no reason to give them this most.
So here's my thing too, right? Zhang, Khepri, Bologna. These are enemies. There are three most coveted picks outside of. Sorry, Zhang, not Xing. Excuse me. So Bologna's going. Are Paradigm going to take away the Khepri here? I feel like they have to.
I would say Khepri Saket would be the way to play it, but Khepri does do quite well against Saket, so maybe they can just let Saket go if they feel comfortable.
It's kind of strange though. We're talking about these picks for Paradigm. Khepri Saket doesn't feel very Paradigm, does it?
At all.
Something, yeah, they're hovering over a Sobek right now. That feels so much more Paradigm than Khepri Saket does. So, you know, it seems that they want to keep playing their own style and they're not going to transfer to NME, and Sobek go on you. That is the pinnacle of Paradigm.
That Guan Yu is going support. That's going to be Trix Tank. I'll be really excited to see if we're going to see the Hog come out again. But Sobek is just, that's the matchup against Bologna, right? You can tail up, knock her out of her bludgeon, and it's something that you should, you know, stay even with, if not win early on.
So this is such a Paradigm draft, you know, they're going for the spicy picks that regularly, you know, you don't really see them get picked at all, never mind in the top two. But what I dislike about this is that NME are like, I can guarantee they're like, what are they doing? We're getting exactly what we want here. We want Arjonkwi, we want Khepri, this is perfect.
This is exactly what the three top gods I expected out of them outside of the Xing and the Soul lane. Xiblanque hovered, but I mean, that's looking pretty late game, though.
I like the Xiblanque for the map control. His ultimate is one of the most underrated ultimates in the game. Not being able to see as far as the presence for initiation goes is absolutely incredible. And we're going to see Paradigm ban out the Hun Bats here, so that means Saket is still on the board. Perhaps they're going to be leaning towards it to grab it here. They should have the next pick, but I mean, do you really want to even risk it?
NME are in a position where they can get the exact same draft as last time, but better. They get a Bologna instead of an Osiris. You know what, Paradigm clearly have something up their sleeves for this. They're doing this on purpose, but I'm scared for them.
If I was NME right now, all I can think is, man, we are
Chiron
feeling
Saket?
good.
Chiron Saket, yeah.
Why
Run it back
not?
with a Bologna. What could go wrong?
It's such a brilliant
This is an
draft.
enemy draft. It's perfect.
Saket's also very good against Kronos, too. He can just burst him before he can even get his ult off.
Neath, one of Vedium's most comfortable picks. We see that coming out. That was one of his picks he loved at the Super Regionals. Nothing wrong with that right now. They don't need a super hyper carry. Loki, though,
No,
that's
Nah, they're not doing that. They're just messing.
I love how you see that and immediately just think, nah, it's not happening. Yeah, it's kind of hovered on now for too long.
Outquang. I mean, that's actually a reasonable pick.
It's actually very good against Sobek, too.
Similar style to Saket, you know, he has that. He's basically magical Saket. He gets in the back line, picks one target off, and goes through it. But it
let's
has
be
to be Saket.
This is the Worlds tournament. You're not going to spice it up right now. You're going to pick what's been working for you, and what's been working for them has been that Saket.
Here's the thing with me in this draft. I don't know what Paradigm's thinking, because that's what we've been talking about. NME is so good at drafting, and you give them the exact same lineup that they've been winning with since Super Regionals. They have to have some game plan heading into this.
We look at Paradigm's draft. Do you think that's an EU team draft or a Chinese team draft? Be honest.
I think it's
like,
a bad draft.
Yeah, it's a very interesting, very unique setup. All right, who do you think's taking game 2, guys?
NME.
NME.
I still have faith in Paradigm. I'm going Paradigm.
You know what? I have to go with NME, just because
Traitor.
I just feel like they got exactly what they wanted. All right, here we go, guys. Hope you all are hyped up in the house. It is time for game number 2. Let's go ahead and toss it over to our casters.
You know, right away, thanks a lot, Golden Boy, by the way. But right away, I want to talk about this.
Golden Boy?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
thought it was A-Rock.
I thought it was Donatello. But either way, right now, we're looking at these picks and bans. Everybody's talking about NME. You got to think about the players specifically. I'm looking at this Paradigm lineup. I know exactly who's going to play what. I know how happy they are to play these characters, and I think that they feel comfortable enough to bring win in game number 2.
This is one of those things of EU versus NA meta is what I want to say here, because I'm pretty sure everyone at home is like, Enemy has a very good composition here, but Paradigm, they're comfortable with what they have too.
I like what Enemy's doing. They're just doing what works, and it looks like we're getting into game here. Enemy versus Paradigm, game 2.
There it is.
Rock, calm down. Just tell my job you carry on like that.
Slot Machine going to go ahead and take Bologna into the solo lane, but yeah, right down the line. We've got Cubo Fred on the Snaja, Solo Beck for Zalia, Lobster on a Kronos, Trix Tank and Funball making up the long lane with this Guan Yu Shibalanki combo. I've seen every one of these players play these gods in dire, straight situations. Paradigm feels so comfortable.
They feel comfortable, but they've got the pressure on them early on in this game. The Sobek and Neja are going to have a little bit of a harder time clearing the jungle at the beginning of the game. I mean, it is a circuit, but still, there's a chance for invasions here, Aro.
Yeah, we'll see about invasions. I think they're just going to both start at standard again. They just did the same thing. They group up as 5 just to ward. I don't think they're really looking for a pick. If a team makes a mistake, they're going to be able to get a pick, but they're just looking to ward with the 5-man group up.
How do you feel about the Chaos going for the power pot at the start of this game there? He's gone purple pot, he's now out with it. Is this just going to help him in the lane? Speed things up just because, you know, they've got that jungler that's going to be a little bit slower in circuit at clearing the wave.
Yeah, I think they want the purple pot on Chaos just for the clear and just so they could get to mid camps easier. He also did it last game, which helped him a lot in the early game. He's not letting against Janus this time, so we'll see what's going to happen.
One more time, we're taking a look at where Trix Tank's going, and again, it's the hog. And I like how Incon put it before. It's not good, it's bad, but when it works, who's going to tell you it's bad?
Well, they've got to focus down Trix Tank in every engagement before they can do it. This is old school Smite with the Hog 3. You used to see this all the time. Where's the support? Kill the support. But on the right-hand side, early invade looking for the blue buff. Notice how Enemy didn't do their speed buff there. They did their own blue, rotated straight up to have that fight at that blue buff and stopped Sobek, the one that really needs this blue, from getting it.
That's huge, yes. Sobek's mana is very, very minimal in the early game. It looks like Neja's rotating in.
Cubo Fred in some trouble, but a great stun stops Enemy from really dealing damage. Sobek into Cubo. Salt Machine falls for the first blood, going the way of the Europeans.
I saw this play against China. China did the same thing and didn't think. Left-hand side aggression again. And look at that. Funballer going in, putting some extra damage on.
No fear.
Archers are doing good work though on Vishen, returning good poke. That was not a good decision from Funballer. It didn't pay off.
Yeah, that time it really didn't. The no fear is, I like the no fear, but you got to remember how dangerous these minions can be.
Talk about danger though. That attempt for the blue buff really hurt the boys of Enemy. I don't know why they did that. Chaos knew that he was going over there. Lobster, the call must have been there that Lobster was coming, and they still went in.
And Kronos has a purple pot as well, so the 3 came out and just destroyed them.
On top of that, Neja getting that early kill is going to help him. Look at this jungle. Now it's the return for Paradigm.
This is what I was talking about during the picks and bans. You just can tell how comfortable Paradigm are right now. They're not afraid of anything. They're in Enemy's jungle more than their own, and we haven't even reached minute 2.
And look at Zalia. He's freezing the wave, making Salt Machine lose XP. They just did that so he could get the lane slower. It was a great play coming out by Zalia.
Pressure in the mid lane coming out from Paradigm. They're just pushing that one in. Meanwhile, back in the duo, relatively even backwards and forwards there. But over on that right-hand side as well, keep an eye on how this game's going to play out for Cubo Fred, because his ultimate is going to be very important. He can take Chaos out of the fight on Zhong Kui, which is one of the reasons you look to pick the Neja, take him out when he uses ultimate. On top of that, it's very difficult to use the ultimate of Capri at the landing time of a Neja. So you could potentially get him in a bit of a bad spot.
Also, not for nothing, flipping the tables around on that one, Hinduman. You could Naja ult the Kepri, and while Kepri's stuck in the air, burst somebody down, and Kepri can't ult while he's being hit in the face.
And that's the big key here with this composition. It's good sustained dot damage coming out from Enemy. Meanwhile, across the way, a little bit more burst heavy with Lobster on that Kronos in the mid lane and the Sobek.
And I also like seeing Cubo playing this Naja. In Ranked, I've been playing, and he's been playing a lot of Naja in Ranked. This is a character he's been practicing a ton, and it's great to see him pulling it out in this world.
Well, we were waiting to get to the semifinals to see what the extra picks would be that we've not seen too much of just lately. Naja had a little bit of fun in the SPL, but not towards the end now in this current meta. I expected more Mercury so far, but we've still not seen that.
Yeah, I did expect a little bit more Mercury, to be completely honest with you. Vishiam's going to go ahead and root Trix Tank, who Heals
Tricks
himself
aside.
up.
I have a feeling we're going to see some Mercury later between the Cloud9 and Epsilon boys.
Oh, yeah.
Adapting and Andenster both love that guy, and they're both extremely good at it.
That, of course, is the semifinal match that's going to come up after this one, both of which are best of fives. Right now, Paradigm trailing to NME 1-0. We're in game number 2, and right now, Paradigm, I mean, they have 1 kill already, but we saw the same thing happen in game 1. They were off to a quick start, but were unable to finish it.
They're in a better position last game too, but their composition's a little bit different. But look at this, Cuvo coming over, putting the pressure on. Didn't use his ultimate there, just sashed in and forced Salt Machine to back away.
Great play by Zaylia there. He was in trouble, but the pluck saved him. He plucked away, and he also threw a just back. And we got a fight in the duo lane over here.
Tricks ain't caught out. Half HP, thanks to Pain Devion's grab, but now Funball playing aggressive. He's gonna go chase out, and now everybody's separated. Support, and Hunter. Tricks Tank forced up on the horse. He's gonna run away, but that is a win for Enemy.
I think they were worried they didn't see Bologna on the map was the key thing there. She was back, and with Chaos rotating in, they didn't know if Bologna had gone back and got teleport or was just rotating all the way to that fight. Could have been an awkward moment. So using that ult there looked a bit ridiculous, but he had the idea behind it.
It's the lack of information, and you know, better safe than sorry.
No, I think Trix had to alter. The World Weaver is getting charged. If he didn't ult, he would have fell for sure.
With Chrono, with the Jean Kui coming in as well, would have caused a big issue for him. So Purple Buff does finally go to Enemy on their left-hand side there. No more contest from Paradigm.
Easy plays right now for now. Enemy right now, as we said, this is pretty much, again, a very similar composition to how they picked last game, and it's going to be the same sort of idea. This early game is... It's always important, right? But it's a little bit less important when you're really looking at these gods that want to perform it later on in the game with more and more items. So Enemy's fine with this 1-0, 5 minutes in.
Really good work from Zaylia there, cancelling out the bludgeon and continuing the pressure. Going to try and force the ultimate here, potentially from Salt Machine. Will he get it? Yes, he will.
Beautifully timed.
Well timed by Salt Machine, yes. Very, very right, well, perfect.
Yeah, he knew he was going to cancel it a little bit early, so that's why he ulted a little bit early. Just perfect timing coming out of Salt Machine. Just great play to see out of both of these players.
Yeah, that really goes to show you where we're at. And solo lane, we were talking to Zapman before, he mentioned that Omega always mentions how mental that solo lane is and how you have to get into each other's heads, and that's exactly what was going on there. Both players are in each other's minds.
Especially with that first kill going the way of Paradigm as well onto Salt Machine. Salt Machine had a very good game last game. You can see that they tried to focus him over in that solo lane last game as well. And they find out, and here he is again. Cuvo going to take him straight up, but he's got no ultimate to get away from this time around. But do they have the first damage?
That's the combination that you're looking for, and that's why Cuvo forced out the ultimate before, so that they can get the kill right here.
Big heal.
Cuvo Fred, number 2.
Oh, imagine if that was old Nijar. That was a dead Nijar, but the new heal coming through to save his life. But look at this. Justice here has a blink available, but not going to get in range with that ambush. Luckily, the back happened.
Again, calculation, that all of that in your head, ultimate v ultimate type situation. Paradigm wrote it down in their notebooks, came right away before it came up, and that's why Bologna took a spill.
We just got a Guan ult forced out by Enemy. It was kind of a good trade. It's still a win for Enemy. They got Guan Yu ult for nothing, pretty much. Pain was taking a lot of damage. It looked like they were going to fight, but then they saw Zhang come, so he just retreated with
How is the Guan versus Kepri matchup support versus support? Because on paper, it seems that that could go either way, just because Guan's so aggressive, can shred the protections, and also has the heal, so that dart that Kepri puts on will help him. But then Kepri, well, he's got the silence and the root.
I feel it really depends on the Hunter, because it depends where the minions are at in the lane. If they're in the middle, Kepri's going to win, and if you're pushing a Guan in, they're going to win. But if you have a Hunter that's stronger like Neith, with the Guan Yu, you'll be able to push him in, and Guan Yu is going to be able to do whatever he wants. It's going to be hard for Trix to do stuff this game because it's a Shablanca in his lane, and Shablanca doesn't really have that great of push.
And it's funny when we get to the team fights, we're going to see a different aspect to Paradigm. Last time they went for this big AoE composition of burst a single target with executes. Well, this time they're splitting the damage. We're going to see Trix Tank go to the back line. Zaylia and Cuvo can also split targets, and that leaves Lobster and Funball just to support.
We're going to see the Trix hit the frontliners, actually, because he's going to be shredding their protections, and that's what Guan Yu's best at. Yeah.
So you'll be looking for the Neef to chase it down, because like Guan pretty good at chasing the Neef consistently.
Yeah, he's going to try to force people's movement abilities like backflips and stuff, but after his ult's down, he's going to go run straight to his back line and help hit the front line.
Especially
pretty
with
much.
the heal as well coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
Heal all the time.
Yep.
Well, we've been channeled. It looks like we may see to it. Oh, but look at that Funballer with the ultimate at the right sort of time, I think, to help defend the potential of that one firing across one of the little intricacies that you don't always see.
Yeah, we're getting a little. It looks like both these teams, they want to fight, but they want to fight safely. They really don't want to be too risky in this situation.
We actually see across the back, you can see the ults were used by both Zaylia and Salt Machine over there, so clearly there was a little contest going on between those two once again, and both the Hunters wanted to get involved, and Funballer, well, he got involved at the right time, because I don't know how Zaylia would have fared.
Can we see Golden Hand? I want to see how close Zaylia is to his Breastplate of Valor. He's probably extremely close. He's still pretty far away. He's about halfway there. Once he gets that online, it's going to be very hard for Salt Machine to fight him. He's already down 0-2. Once Salt Machine finishes his Stone of Gaia, it's going to help him a lot, but Zaylia is going to have the upper hand in the power spike once he finishes his Breastplate of Valor.
What I want to see from Cuvo Fred this game, though, is he got off to a great start. Last game, he's off to a good start again at 2-0. This game on the Naja, he needs to follow through with it this game. He went for the tanky build on Thanatos, but they just couldn't make it work for them. With the Naja, though, more of a hyper carry in the later stages, obviously, so let's just see if he can follow this through. But look at Adjust on the left here.
Oh, yeah, completely different characters, this Naja versus Thanatos. I love to watch players switch back and forth between just polar opposites right there. Thanatos is just sort of a build him tanky, cooldown reduction, and go for it. Naja, on the other hand, is all about building damage.
Yeah, Naja just finished his pen, and Surcat doesn't have his pen yet, so if they fight here, Paradigm's stronger because they have 10 pen on their side, and they're definitely power spiking a little bit better than Enemy right now.
A little bit caught out, but it is a Surcat, so he will quickly dance away from that one.
Look at that damage coming out of Kronos. That's really good poke.
Well, this was a good setup for the Gold Fury to start. Visham knows this is going on. You'll see the reinforcements of Enemy coming around. Look at Chaos'
They have a hog, remember.
Swinging around the side as well. Cuvo got a little bit of poke there, but he can heal that back up. Plus, he's got Guan and Lobster. Beads forced onto Lobster, so he's going to have to back away as well for now. Pain now zoning them away from it, and it looks like we'll see a reset again from Enemy. Paradigm want to do this, though, because they've had this hog.
Yeah, Paradigm really wants to force this as well because they probably see what items they have. They have more powerful items. They have a stronger power spike right now. So if Paradigm forces a fight, they can win this. But they got to be careful how much damage they take from Gold.
Going in.
Guan's going in.
He's going to go in the cavalry charge onto Visham, holds the backflip to the last second. Meanwhile, Chaos is now isolated, taken to the sky from Nijar. As soon as he uses ultimate, they're going to burst in when he lands. Can they? No. The ultimate from Kepri's there.
Cuvo Fred very low, and it just jumps right on top, takes him down, and then zigzags the support. That's a double kill for the jungler on the side of Enemy. Visham barely gets out, and Funball makes sure that's not gonna happen. 3-on-2 right here. Credit to Enemy, and Salt Machine makes it a 3-on-1.
Salt Machine did good work there as well. Zaylia was chasing down Visham on low health, but Funballer found the kill, and it was a nice work for Enemy once again. Check out those golden experience. You can see it's starting to climb again.
Yeah, Just was crazy in that fight. He was just zigzagging all over the place, taking people out left and right, double kill for him. Really great plays coming out of Just right there.
Little bit of nervousness, though, coming out from Paradigm. I can see that in Trixank. He's trying to push this too hard, I feel. Trixank going in a little bit early before his team's in the right position. The call to switch to Chaos, though, who was coming on that Jean-Qui, was very, very good. Good armor from Cuvo to take it out, but they tried to continue bursting when he landed instead of just potentially resetting because Capri's ult was still available.
Yeah, I'm surprised Capri's still in the game. I can't believe he made it through pick and ban. That's just crazy to me. Pain Diviande has been putting on a phenomenal performance on Capri all tournament.
I think that's
and at Super Regionals, too.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me. I mean, Xing Qian, I like that ban and I agree with that ban, but the Athena, I think in this situation, Pain is a good Athena and Kepri. Those are his two sort of go-tos. The Athena ban right here from Paradigm, I think we should switch that around. I think we ban the Kepri.
I think Pain's a really good Athena, but as a team, Enemy just plays so well with Kepri, and Pain knows how to play it extremely well also.
The funny thing is that Paradigm have come out with two different strategies to deal with the Kepri. They brought out Thanatos last time. This time they brought out the Nijar to do the same sort of thing of split him away from being able to get these ultimates off or not make them effective.
I think they brought the Nijar more for taking the Jean-Qui out into the air while he's ulting. He did that last fight. That was really good, well by Cuvo Fred.
But I think everyone just hung in position there for the most part to just wait for him to land, try and burst him, and Kepri was sat there right and left hand side once again. Trix versus Pain de Beyond. That's a battle backwards and forwards between these two all the time.
Yeah, these two supports are not quiet players, not quiet people, so they're definitely they're not going to shy away from the slap fight.
Played against each other before as well. I mean, over in Europe, Pain de Beyond did do a transfer to Europe for a while and played some teams there.
So secrets.
Exactly. So he's played for Zalia as well. So
and Funballer.
So he's been around. He knows these boys. Does Pain de Beyond, as does Trixank. So those two know each other very well.
Pain de Beyond is actually the only player that has ever really switched from region to region.
What about me? I did it for 2 months, but I guess I didn't play in the SPL or anything like that.
Are you at Worlds?
No.
Worth noting,
But he
though,
said only player, and hey.
you know what? Worth
I'm
noting.
sorry.
QE3Q, the player that we have on our analyst desk here from Brazil, he actually was a fantastic ranked player before we opened up servers down there. So there have been players that have done that are notable, but as far as on the big stage, really, it's just Pain Devion that has played for both NA and EU. So he's got a little bit of insight into both sides.
Pace slowed down a little bit here. Paradigm were the ones aggressing earlier on. They're looking for the Gold Fury, but the way Enemy defended that and then turned that fight around is made Paradigm take a back foot for a second or two. Still no Hog 3 finished 4 Tricks tank there. He's probably going to be working for this Breastplate of Valor that he really likes on the Guan.
Look at Cuvo Fred's farming. I was talking to Herwin the other day about this in ranked. He was playing a lot with Cuvo Fred, and he just noticed how well he farmed Amnesia. Right now, he is top gold per minute. It's just, he's just doing a great job farming overall, and that's why Paradigm has the gold lead.
And that's above the solo laners as well. That's not an easy thing to accomplish, getting above solo laners who sit there all day and pretty much just farm religiously without any issues.
Naja is a lot of fun to farm with, to be honest with you, and it's pretty efficient because you throw the ring and the camp is basically cleared by itself. Yep. You hit a couple of basics and you've got a lot of movement speed. So Naja, with that movement speed built into his kit, allows him to rotate around the jungle a little bit faster, like a Suku, a Wheelish, or the adjust with the jumps on the Circuit.
Left Harpies go the way of Enemy. Right one's due to spawn. They'll pick up the mid wave first of all, though, and it looks like we will see Paradigm in position for the right ones if they know they're available here. But it looks like we're going to see Lobster back, so I don't think we'll see a contest too much out of Paradigm here. If they do, could be a 3v2 and a bit of a risky business.
Yeah, Cuvo Fred just going for a ring toss there, not really wanting to full commit. Trickstank tosses him a heel, walks away.
That route is so scary when you don't have vision. Paradigm has no vision, so if Pain just roots him like that, their first instinct is retreat backwards. Yeah. So it just stones him out and gives Enemy a free mid camp.
Difference here on the builds as well. We can actually see Ninja Tabby be, hold that fort. Cubo's under pressure there, has to heal. And Adjust, though, just going to back away, not going to continue.
Smart.
They did get the heal off him, though.
Yeah, that was very smart by Adjust. If he went any farther, he would have got punished. And we might have seen other players in other regions and other junglers do that. And that's just really great knowledge by Adjust to not dive in.
Just strong discipline to not go for it, but that's ultimately a win because don't forget, that was a large heal. The way Naja's heal works, it's 20 basic attacks. That's not quick to build up. So by getting that heal off, that's a pretty win.
For me, I think he just wasn't sure where the rotations were coming from. Don't forget, Circuit's ult does reduce healing to 0.
No, yeah, for sure. I feel like, though, if he chased him, even if he ulted him, I think he still would have, he might have got the kill, but he would have also died for sure, in my opinion.
Put him in a rough spot. So 15 minutes in, and now Chaos continuing to farm. I've got the spear online. Beads 1 as well for the time being. 0-0 and 3. Ket's having a very good tournament so far as well. He's been one of the standouts, and the fans have noticed that too at home. They've been, you can hear it in the crowd too when his name is said.
Another fight here in the solo lane. Salt Machine versus Dazelia. Bludgeon not going to be interrupted. I like that. Salt Machine's holding the bludgeon until after the tail whip. It's a game of chicken.
It's also lack of mana on Zayli to be able to do anything about it too here, so he's going to have to base.
He couldn't tail whip him.
Yeah, couldn't tail. Well, even if he could, he still had the charge.
Yeah, he had just tail whipped the lane, so.
And he just charge prayed him, so I guess he couldn't stop it. So yeah, good use by Salt Machine to
and the big talking point is both these players in lane have been very, very well known for dominating lane, being very strong in lane. But the weaknesses have come from both of these is rotating to the team fights and making an impact. Zalia struggled against the Cyclone spin from early in the year just because Cyclone was much more influential in the team fight stage. Salt Machine, though, he's started to correct his issues as well, and he's turned up this tournament and at the SPL Super Regionals. He did very well there with his rotations, and people are starting to take note.
Yeah, his team fights are just very, very strong. He plays characters like Bologna and Jing 10, and those are his two well-known characters, and they're just great team fighters overall, and he plays them very, very well.
Junglers going to meet each other on the duo side, both looking for the same sort of idea of a gank. Funballer was pushed up there. Visham called over for Adjust to come and found Cubo waiting in the jungle too, so back to farming we go.
So look at the gold. The Enemy kind of closed the gap. They've been farming extremely well.
Look how active everybody is here on the left-hand side. Paradigm wants to start looking for a Gold Fury. Again, they have this Hand of the Gods. They need to make it worthwhile.
It's only Hog 1, though, so it's not as much as you'd expect at this stage. I mean, you've got to be very careful with just the Hog 1. It's just decent damage, but
it's still a lot of damage. It does more than any other spell right now in the game on the other side of the team.
Look at that damage on the Pain from Kronos.
Salt Machine comes in with a bludgeon, though, doesn't get to use it as a tail whip. Comes out Lobster. He went very early into an awkward position there. Pain Devion is zoning the way the rest of Paradigm using the ultimate on himself. Meanwhile, the chaos is here, and Salt Machine will bring down Tricks. Like Pain finally falls down. Funballer is in the fight on the backside with Cubo. They're looking for Vicium. Meanwhile, Zaylee doing a good job of getting beat down by Salt Machine, keeping him pinned. Salt could be in trouble.
Yeah, here's the rest of Paradigm. Salt Machine forced to jump over the wall, and that's exactly what Paradigm wanted. They're free to look at the gold.
Really good patience coming out of Salt Machine. If he ulted straight, they would have been able to catch up to him. He waited till he got to the red buff wall so he could ult over and get out for sure. And we also saw Funballer pick a stack up. He has 5 power, and they also picked up the Gold Fury. So Shablanca is going to become very strong in these next upcoming team fights.
Really good fight from Paradigm there, because what they did, they split the opposition up. Plain Divion was doing a good job of zoning, but instead of getting impatient Paradigm and forcing Funballer and Cubo to come through, they waited and just beat him down. Then they turned up for the rest of the team.
And another thing to note is that Funballer's ult makes everybody blind. It's very hard for a Khepri player to get his ult off on the correct target, and he got low in that fight. He chose the right target on himself, but it made it very, very hard and awkward for Pain Diviande to play that fight perfectly.
And last thing to note about how well that fight went for Paradigm, because everything worked out for them there, was the positioning of Lobster. Kronos, yes, he has the ultimate, but he can get in some trouble. Lobster spent his entire time sort of looking at the fight from the left-hand side, understanding he'd be able to catch up to Salt Machine as he came down, met up with him. They didn't get the kill, but they got the objective, which is pretty much more important.
That's what they need right now. That first Gold Fury, definitely a boon for the EU boys here after going down that first game to NME at the beginning of this one. And 19 minutes in, but we'll probably go back to farming a little bit more once again. I don't think anyone's going to try and run away with this just yet, Aurora.
Yeah, it looks extremely close still. Both teams are playing extremely well in the team fights, and it's going to come down to really the next Gold Fury, I think, where the team's going to break away, or NME might just come back with the next gold. It really depends on how much kills they get in the next team fight.
Last game was really close between the two as well. It was generally came down to that one deicide that Paradigm got, and then they stuck around at the Fire Giant too long. Pain Divion did a good job of controlling that in the end and bringing it back for NME to win the game.
4-5 read the kills right now, and Paradigm, they're leading in that. They're also leading in the gold thanks to that last exchange, which resulted in the Gold Fury. 20 seconds shy of the 20-minute mark, and Paradigm are looking strong with this Kronos on their side, along with the Xbalanque. They are ready and waiting to go to the late game.
Look at Sobek's damage. He's been doing extremely well in these team fights. A lot of it's coming from the lane for poke damage, but in these team fights, he's been hitting really good ults, and he's also been hitting multiple people with his tail whip and his sickening strike, which is his 3. So
and it's not the easiest thing in the world to deal damage at the same time as make sure that's used for CC as well.
Yeah, you know what I really like, even more so than that amount of damage, Paradigm caught up a little bit in a pincer, but they're going to walk away and send enemy packing. More interesting to me than the Sobek sitting up on top is how low a lot of the how similar everybody else's damage is. It's a interesting kill game in a situation where everybody's sort of doing equal amounts of work.
Look at this, both the Hunters have joined the middle lane here, looking to put pressure on a Paradigm. Vicium turns up to defend, but not an opportunity for them. Paradigm take a tower in mid lane with a very nice, sweet rotation, and they're looking towards right here for that other tower.
Yeah, he plucked him. They could pick him off here, but he senses it and he's out.
I actually think this is more for the tower. They're trying to abuse the fact that Gold Fury is down so they don't lose anything left. Yeah, they may lose the tier 1 tower if Vicium stayed, but Paradigm just gave themselves 1,000 gold across the map.
And this is also what Paradigm's composition does. So this is a situation where Paradigm picks a lot of gods that they like to play and everything, but a side note of what Paradigm's comp does is how well they kill towers. Funballs and Hunter, no big deal. Lobster on this Kronos, he double dips. He's going to be killing these towers very, very fast. And people always forget how powerful Flaming Spear, Naja's steroid, is. He tears through these towers.
And this is one of the best things Paradigm's good at doing. They like to group up as 5 as a team and start taking out the tier 1 towers and tier 2 towers. They do this extremely well. When we scrimmed them at Super Regionals, our team was very, very bad at doing that. And we learned a lot from Paradigm and how to group up as a team and take towers out one by one by one. And for them doing this, this makes them like a death ball, and it's very, very hard to break their ball because they have a Sobek. If anybody jumps in, Sobek's going to tail whip him out, and they just have a lot of damage to follow up with him as well.
It is a death ball, but it's also very good in the 1v1 department over there as well. If you look at the matchups in 1v1s, you could really see that they could take each other on and do a good job. I mean, Zaylee could just zone out Zaylee on Sobek can just zone out Bologna all day long on Salt Machine. Meanwhile, you can see a Just versus Cuvo can go either way, but when that crit starts coming out from Cuvo, it's going to cause some issues.
Take a look at the builds right here on the side of where Paradigm is leading. The Winged Blade came out first on Naja. That's going to give him a little bit of utility waiting out the crit item. And it's likely to be the Deathbringer. That's pretty much how you go for Naja to supplement that ultimate. He'll be able to deal even more damage with that. Look at where Trix Tank, though, built that Hand of the Gods.
I was going to say,
it's now a Fist of the Gods.
He spent a lot into actives here. Full shell to deal with the Zhonghui, but going for the Fist. Why is he going for the Fist of the Gods here?
I think he wants the fist to stop Kepri pull because that stops it.
Oh, of course.
We got a
look
fight
at
here.
burst on Trix. He's going to get really hurt. The dot damage is good enough to bring him down. A just falls, and Zalia uses his ult to try and zone. But Zalia's in a bit of an awkward spot here as well. Gets rooted on the backside. Salt Machine dealing with 3. He's alone, though. Does have his Eagles rally. He's going to go in on it.
I love the play of the Lobster to bait Salt Machine into this fight, but now that Salt Machine has brought his friend Adjust, things have changed. Zelia is being chased out on the left-hand side. Enemy does not want to full commit. Their solo laner is down to about half HP. They have stuff on cooldown.
We saw right there, Cubo tried to go for the ult on Adjust, but he just slid right out of the way with his zigzag and
Paradigm's nowhere near here. This is a
they
free
can't do
gold
it.
here.
They lost one of their frontliners. Zalia's also very weak in this fight as well. It's very well played by Enemy to take our second Gold Fury.
Yeah, again,
bringing it back towards even.
Strong discipline from Enemy. It would have been. We would have seen a lot of teams continue that fight and go for it, maybe lose a couple and be unable to take that Gold Fury. They lick their wounds, they take the Gold Fury, they look towards mid, but Paradigm.
They're going to try to start a fight here.
Oh,
great root!
Vicium.
Vicium's big route there after the backflip to make sure they couldn't follow up. Sobek definitely would have looked for the pluck there. It looks like Paradigm still want to try and push down mid, though. They're going to have a wave coming with them to look for the tier 2. Enemy need to go back to base quickly, but they've got a little bit of defense here still because Chaos is good health, as is Vicium.
Yeah, that root was so important. If they weren't able to get that root off, there would have definitely been a team fight. I mean, look at this!
They're looking for the pick again on Cubo, who takes the sky. He is poisoned, though, so he needs to get the crit damage off quick before he falls.
It's spread!
But he's spread to the whole team!
That's
Trickstack's gonna run away bravely. Look at my horse. It's not amazing! Meanwhile, Lobster now has to run away too. 2 kills to the side of Enemy.
Paradigm have been doing fantastic in this match, but these last 2 exchanges have been Enemies, no doubt about it. They've shortened the lead to about 1,000, just above at 1,200. And because of that, Paradigm now have to start thinking with this tier 1 tower. I mean, this game is tied.
Yeah, and this is what Enemy wants. They're fine with this. They're going to go to the late game. They're so used to playing this comp. It's kind of like the TSM of the old. They played their standard comp, Thor, Ra, Geb, Apollo. They just play the same characters over and over again. This is kind of what we're seeing for an Enemy, and this is just working out for them extremely well.
Both of these teams, though, are ready and willing to go to the late game. I said it before. Shibalagi and Kronos, I mean, where are their later game gods?
Exactly. They're extremely strong, but I feel like just the CC and all the synergies that coming out of the side of the Enemy, they have an extremely strong team comp.
These two need to be careful over here, though.
He stopped his jump.
Paradigm is on the way. He ults the targets, trying to get away. There's the Capriel, going to pull him back in, but it looks like Paradigm going to keep chasing. Salt Machine against 4, zoning them away best he can, keeping him busy. He's got the Eagles rally, will use it defensively soon, but flip back into dangerous territory. Salt still holding that ultimate to the very last second, but Funballer continuing the chase too, and just take some free poke. Vicium and Chaos are here, trying to keep them at bay, but Chaos is getting low too, and the ult is up for Cubo. Cubo will secure 1 here, slowly but surely.
Vicium is nailing these roots. It's good enough to play defense for the players, but the tower's gonna fall. This is just all Paradigm's right-hand side lane. They've taken it.
The mistake here was sacrificial. That was the issue. They should have just sacrificed the kill. You know, Josh should have just died, and they should have left it. Instead, the team tried to work as a unit, peel for each other, but that just forced them into a worse spot as time went on, because that ball of death from Paradigm just kept charging on.
Yeah, that all coming out of Cubo right after Zhang popped his all was just perfect timing again. Cubo's been playing a very, very good Neja game, and if he can keep this up, I feel like Paradigm could take this game for sure.
Big shoulders that Cubo needs here to carry this team at the moment. He is 3-2-3. He's had 2 very good games at the beginning, but right now, Paradigm, they still have the opportunity in this game. They now have a gold lead once again.
The gold lead is still on top now. It's 2,600. It's been back and forth for the past couple of minutes. Paradigm really controlled the early and mid game, but as we went on and on into the later game, it's getting closer.
It is getting closer between the two right now. 27 minutes into it at the moment. And now with Visham level 18 at the moment, they're looking for a pick on Trix, but that fist helps him. Just was looking at going in still there, but with Lobster showing his face in that mid lane, he chose the side of caution.
And look at, he didn't use his ult again. Adjust is just playing so disciplined, and it's just great play coming out of him. If he used his ult there, he knew he was going to get out for free, and Adjust is just playing extremely
It's
smart.
not just Adjust, it's enemy just all across the board. A lot of teams get in trouble from itchy trigger fingers, but everybody's holding these ultimates till they absolutely need them.
Fire Giant is going to be the one to be started up soon by one of these two teams. The Sentry Ward's placed by enemy. They have control. And Paradigm want to keep an eye on that now. Considering. Let's have a listen to Paradigm, though, as they're looking to try and get control of this Fire Giant.
Fling these guys right now. They're probably done.
Yeah, chill. Build for some poke, maybe?
Yeah, okay.
Maybe? No, just chill. I don't know.
Just defend left. Just defend left.
How long for your ult?
13. Just poke them with your abilities.
They're gonna push left here. Okay, group.
Let's go around.
Go left, go left. Can you hold anybody, Fred?
I pick Captain.
Just poke. Chill though.
That's damage.
Yeah, no. Tricks.
Disengage. I'm good.
That's good. This is good.
Reset the fight.
Yeah, reset.
That's a little blink.
What did they waste?
Right? Did
I don't know.
Strong ult, didn't he?
I don't know.
Sure.
I really don't know.
Soketo?
I know they used Chow that fight, but...
I'm not sure Soketo.
Do you want to fight it or something? You get it?
Yeah, I'll do
Let's start pushing for wards in here, dude. Come on.
Yeah, let's start grouping up and pushing there.
How many times have we said the word discipline?
It's discipline, but the big key for me here is Trix Tank is quiet.
Yep.
Trix is not having a good game. He's not happy with himself. He's 0-4-3, and he doesn't like that. Trix is a very emotional player. We say this a lot, but he likes to go in and be big. But look at this fight in mid lane. Chaos has to use the ultimate. Nishan not being able to take him away. See how he used the beads defensively there early. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, look at the burst damage onto Cubo. He goes running from Salt hits too. Salt Machine trying to do work. The Fist of the Gods is peeling through. And just does clean up Cubo. Meanwhile, Funballer gets out. So finally, the ult comes through from Kepri too.
Kepri puts the health onto the solo laner, but Zillion takes out Salt Machine, waits it out. No ult is good enough. Lobster's coming back on in.
He has to help.
Full HP, but now he's all alone. Serket's gonna catch up to him. No Cobra's Kiss. There's the Death Bane thanks to the beads.
3 seconds for the kiss, but there's Chaos with the Exorcism too. Card hit! It connects and Chaos gets another kill. Enemy 11-7, and the Fire Giant looks potential.
Yeah, the Fire Giant right now, the only one alive on the side of Paradigm is going to be Funball. Everybody else is sitting down for at least.
They did lose Salt Machine, so that's their main take for Fire Giant. They're looking for a pick here on Funballer, but it looks like he's going to back off.
Just trying to pick him on the corner if they can.
Bishop is full health.
Well, I don't think Funballer can do much. He can try and poke them
600 crits
down.
coming out on this Fire Giant.
It is good damage from Funballer available. He's got some crit online here. PDG going to hit with the Will Weaver from Bishop.
You might have stopped the dash.
They're going to turn it on him and pick off Funballer
I
at the corner.
think the Will Weaver caught the dash. That was huge.
Just at the end, and now the Fire Giant falls to enemy. No one in range from Paradigm. NA are poised to take a second game here against Europe in the semis.
Paradigm looked on fire. Paradigm looked, this was their game for 25 minutes.
Yeah. Paradigm was playing extremely well, but you go back to the Kepri Bologna combo.
Yeah.
Even though Bologna didn't get revived by Kepri, she just was able to stay alive forever, and she got to do whatever she wanted. We saw a double rally here on the back line, hit 2 of them, and she just stayed there, auto, and she couldn't get taken out because the Kepri was on her.
Again, 2 games in a row, 2 Athena bans, in my personal opinion, 2 incorrect bans. We need to take this. The Kepri is just too strong in the hands of Pain to Beyond.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be like, they've been scrimming each other, so maybe they know better, but who knows? I feel like this Kepri is just so strong.
Well, you got to think about what these characters bring to the table, right? And Athena sets up damage, and that's what NME is very good at. They're very good at capitalizing off of opportunities presented to them. But what happens here is Paradigm is executing well, and Pain de Beyond is able to make up 4 mistakes with the ultimate.
So I like the pen coming out of Serket. This is going to help the tower pushing as well, and it looks like we might get a fight here on Sobek. He's looking for something.
He's getting pulled, bursting down.
Whoa,
that was a tank! That was a tank!
Bye, Azalea. And bye, tower. Enemy's going to go ahead and push down the left-hand side as well. 1,500 gold. And ladies and gentlemen, the lead has been swapped. Enemy is now ahead by 3,000 gold.
They're looking for a Phoenix, and Salt Machine quite happy to tank up the front side right now. And at the moment, still trying to do what you can to keep the pressure on.
Paradigm right now in some trouble. Enemy doing very, very well.
Oh, quick pause coming out here from the boys as well. See how long this one lasts. Let's have a little check of this as well. Oh, we're coming to us at the desk. This game has been a bit crazy between the two.
Yep.
But at the moment, it looks like Enemy got themselves in a very, very strong position in this game. Paradigm, they've been ahead and answered back from Enemy. Paradigm again, answered back from Enemy. Paradigm again, then Enemy take a huge lead, get the Fire Giant, take a Phoenix, and it's Paradigm are in trouble.
I mean, it's just so interesting how well Enemy has been able to keep their minds right, because that's really what I'm thinking about. When you're down the entire game, 25 minutes, you know how much of how steady of a mind you have to stay in it, stay within it, and then make these huge plays.
But that's been the season for Enemy so far.
Yeah.
These kids have been behind a lot, and they're used to playing from behind. It's one of those weird things to say because Allied's very good at that too. However, but playing from behind is a very difficult task. But they've done it consistently through the league.
And this comp is their best comp from playing from behind. The Bologna, Kepri, and Jean Kui, all three of those paired together, they're just so good at playing from behind with that composition, and they just play extremely well. They're fine to bring it and draw it out as long as they want.
What they're doing right, which is the key thing here for them, is that they're waiting back if they're losing the engagement and starting to wait for the right opportunities to go in. Trying to force Paradigm, if they want to commit to something, to make it happen.
Well, this is something that we see, again, talking about how good they are at playing from behind. This is something that they're used to. It's funny, they are the underdog in the way people feel about them. They were the underdog throughout the entire season, and when they play, they have been behind and won so many times. And I was looking at their losses in the fall split as well, and even then, they trail by 10K, make it back, and even when they wound up losing, they wind up taking a chunk out of the opposition. They are very, very good at staying grounded and understanding that all is not lost thanks to a couple of leads on the enemy team.
This talk of Enemy being a weak team and potentially just making it here can now finally stop. Like they beat Fnatic earlier on.
Oh, yeah.
They're potentially going to go up 2-0 here against Paradigm if they can continue this game so far.
There's a lot of SMITE to be played.
This is a real team.
It's a 3,000 gold lead for Enemy right now.
But it's a good situation for North America because most people came in thinking they had one team here at Worlds. Well, you've already knocked out one EU team. There's potentially another here.
I mean, Enemy is just on a tear right now. This is the semifinals, of course. We are in a brief pause during game number 2 of what will be a best-of-5 series between Enemy and Paradigm. Later on in the day, we're going to take a look at our next series, which is going to be Cloud9 versus Epsilon. So pretty much, we have some of the most exciting SMITE for you here that could even be possibly asked for.
Now, during this game now, what I'm looking at from Paradigm to try and get back into it, like you said, it's still close.
Oh, yeah.
They still a lead, though, for Enemy. I'm looking at Funball more than anybody. If you listen to the communications in the team during that game, Funballer there, he was the leader then. When Trixtank went quiet, somebody had to step up. Cuvo's not too much of a talker, neither's Lobster. And Zalia's too busy in the solo lane most of the time. So Funballer stepping up is very important for this team. We're finally back into game though, and it's time for the defense for Paradigm on this middle Phoenix. Tier 2 tower is about to fall down.
There it is, 1,500 gold going the way of Enemy, so maybe this lead is larger than we might have thought. The Phoenix on the left-hand side has already fallen, so Enemy now looking for their second Phoenix of the game.
So on the left-hand side, Salt Machine going in, but he's getting bursted down. The good fist of the gods. They did force the ultimate from Kepri, though. So that's a cooldown. Cuvo on the right-hand side is isolated a member in the mid lane, though, at the same time as this is going on. With Trix going in there as well, looking for the pressure from Vicium.
Vicium in trouble.
Vicium playing it very well. Trix is in world of hurt, but the heal is good.
Big heal is going to force adjust out on the right-hand side, followed by a Hunter and a...
Oh! The World Weaver blocks the shot to adjust can juke out.
He's going to jump into the wall.
It's available.
He's out of there.
Just survive.
Vicium. Ladies and gentlemen, Vicium has been the aggressor and getting kills. Vicium has been a savior and protecting his teammate. Vicium is doing everything possible for this enemy squad.
Earlier on, you saw the Fire Giant when they ran past the Fire Giant and they were trying to peel for each other. That's what Enemy does. Paradigm played it very well that time.
Wow.
This time, though,
Wow.
the peeling worked. Vicium's ultimate, oh, jeez.
Yeah, he has 2 crazy ultimates this game that didn't lead into kills. He had that one for Peel and also the one that stopped Shablanke's dash around Fire Giant. Vicium's been showing a great display of ultimates for different usage, and he's just been using this Neath to the highest potential that you could possibly have.
That's what I'm saying here. Vicium is just showing up in all sorts of ways, and this should be no surprise if you followed this team for a while now. Vicium has been that one player that even when people weren't sold on this team, which at this point you better be, back when people were still asking questions, Vicium was the one that people were like, all right, maybe he's got some potential. Well, he's here at Worlds and he's doing everything possible to help his team out.
We'll give a shout to Adjust there because his jukes through the jungle were good. He hid behind minions to block shots as well.
Was big.
That was a key thing. Obviously, Vicium coming in with a stun was huge, but Adjust positioning is what's really helping
And we
out.
also saw him use his beads to get the cooldown reset. And we might see Paradigm coming in for a fight.
Yeah, this is a fight for sure.
Yes.
Trick's staying up on the horse.
The crit!
Stuns, but he burnt all the way down. Saw Machine jumps right on top, and Trick's tank is deleted.
Cubo Fred gonna take one up to the sky though with Zalia zoning duty once again. Dunked down his Chaos back into the fight, turns his attention to
Great
Cubo. Heal is currently down. Chaos gets bursted by
Capri comes in on Chaos!
Capri and Zalia. Well, now he's gonna deal with more on the backside. Salt Machine solos down Fumballer.
Enemy on all cylinders right here. Just takes a big chunk. Here comes Lobster trying to do what he can. Capri not gonna hit. Lobster not able to find it. Vicium with the crit. Lobster, take a seat.
Sobek walking back to base to try and heal himself up. Phoenix in the middle lane will now be assaulted. No, they won't.
No Phoenix.
There is
No
fire
Phoenix.
minions there.
No Phoenix. Just Titan. Enemy want to go directly for it. With everybody on Paradigm, there are so many seconds that they have to sit down. The Titan has fallen. North America is up 2-0.
2 games. The under